Alright folks, tonight's video is something a little bit different than what we normally would do. Back in July of 2019, I had pitched to Gail the idea of starting a YouTube channel, and we didn't know what we were going to do. We had no clue what we were going to do. So we decided one night that we would put up Gail's brick fake wall thing behind us, and it was like a Friday night. We were having a little bit too much to drink, we were having some fun, and we sat down and we made a video about my catfish Charles. Now, my catfish Charles is a wild catfish I bought in 1997. So the idea behind the video was Gail was going to interview me, and it was our first time. And we'll mind you, we had a lot to drink that night, so Gail was going to interview me for this video. And then we were going to go from that, then we were going to edit to me feeding Charles so you can see what we're talking about, and we were going to do that. So, here it is. Don't laugh. Gail won't look her best.
No, I don't look great at all, but you know what? Enjoy the video.
Yeah, she's fussing over her image, but pay no mind to that, because, you know, it's just one of them nights, but I think you'll enjoy the video and have fun with it.
Bye.
See ya. But, you know what I'm saying, because the microphone's pretty sensitive.
Okay.
It's like a hardwood floor you got there.
Yeah, you like that?
It's pretty cool.
I'll tell you what, down at Gail's Donkey Barn, we appreciate hardwood floors.
Killer. Killer. Well, you're supposed to introduce me, and I'm supposed to tell you how glad I am to be here.
Oh, okay.
Alright, I'm going to start over
Folks. Welcome, folks. Good evening. Hope you're all well. I'd like to introduce my guest tonight, Brian Leiser, hobbyist catfisher, we'll say. Tell us about your catfish, Brian.
Catfisher? That's what you got, catfisher? You see, you're new to the camera. It's totally cool. No, it's totally cool. Yeah, no, I'm not a professional catfisher. I am a professional owner of a wild catfish that I keep in captivity. If you want catfish, that's another episode for another channel. That's
okay.
That's somewhere.
I heard it as I said it. Okay.
To start over again.
I have one of those. I'll bring it along.
Yeah, there's one upstairs.
Okay.
All right, so go for it.
So tell us about your catfish.
No, you gotta start over again. You fucked it all up. You gotta fucking practice. It's only made perfect. If you need the bulbs, I'm telling you. Edit. Damn it, there you go.
Good evening.
Let me give you. Don't think. Just be yourself. Find your character.
I did, and I said catfisher.
No, it's cool. No, don't be worried about hitting the retakes over. Just don't think about what you want to say. Just relax and be yourself. Whatever character you want to be, and just let it happen that way. It'll flow.
You're not helping.
I am.
Good evening, folks. Hope you're all well this evening. I'd like to introduce my guest tonight, Brian Leiser, watchman and catfish enthusiast. Tell us about your catfish, Brian.
My catfish. Ah, man.
What's his name?
His name's Charles.
Charles. Like Prince.
No, after my grandfather, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. After my grandfather.
Okay. And how long have you had Charles?
I bought Charles in 1997.
Well,
which, if I'm doing the math,
22 years.
Yes. Yep.
Wow. Impressive.
Yeah, most people on the internet say they only live to be about between 7 and 11 years old. So that's long. To tell you the truth, for Googling it, they live longer. From more research I've done,
well,
they can live 80 years. So this
Google
dang fish
doesn't always has its facts.
Nah, but you don't believe everything you read. That's for dang sure. So where were we?
So Where did you buy your catfish, Charles?
Well, I believe it was a pet store in Montgomeryville somewhere. I can't recall. I can't find the receipt because there may be someone who may go, well, that's bullshit. This guy don't have this fish for this long. It's not possible. He just didn't have it.
Well, do you have pictures from when you bought them?
I think I do have some photographs
there
that
you
are
go.
time-stamped from the 90s. I can vaguely remember. I'm pretty sure I've got VHS tape too, but I'm not sure.
So there's recorded history.
Yeah. I'm not making it up. I'm not just making a lot of horse shit. Or
Right.
Donkey dong for y'all to believe that I'm just making up a story. No, it's true. The story is true. I had this thing for 22 years.
So, what would you say is your secret to keeping him alive for 22 years?
Oh man, it's got to be Hikari. Fucking sinking carnivore pellets. I think if you look at the ingredients on the back of that bag, you won't believe all the goodness that's in that food. Now, you go to pet stores and you always buy the cheap Tetramin or, whatever. It's all like meal and corn and it's nothing. Fish ain't gonna get any protein, ain't getting good out of that.
No.
That's why my goldfish only lived 8 years or so, because the food wasn't that great. I didn't think when you're young that you'd think
Right.
about a fish's health in that way.
Right.
So, most, goldfish can live 50 years. Mine were only averaging about 8 or 9, and then they were dying, and it was I needed something that was easy to take care of, that lived a long time, that looked cool, and, well, it's not the kind of fish that you get for entertainment, for like a community environment.
Right.
They don't work.
Right.
They might as well be freshwater sharks because they will eat everything they can fit in their mouth alive, and they will eat it. I tried it a couple times with Charles. He won't take. He eats everything, so he has to stay in solitary confinement his entire life.
Right. He can never have friends.
He can't. And that's just the nature of the beast of those things.
So, you told me recently you got a new home for him.
I did. I took him out of a 20-gallon fish tank, which he was living in upstairs in my house for 15 years, longer than that. And then the problem is Charles is getting to the point where he's starting to reach his maximum on the tank. He's long outgrown his castle, but he outgrew the tank, and so I had to make it. I couldn't really. If you keep feeding them when they're that big, then they just pollute the tank up, and it's like you might as well living in a 55-gallon barrel. It doesn't work.
Right.
So I had to make a proactive effort to keep Charles living longer, because I figured the thing's lived this long. It's probably 25 years old, because it was at least 3 years old when I got it. So the thing is literally out of grad school now, and it's still alive and it's still living at home with me, and that's cool. You know what I mean? It's totally
Right.
fine. But I realized that if I don't do something soon, then it's probably his health's going to deteriorate. He's going to die. And
Right.
there's no way, if you keep a fish that long, that you're going to let it die. It's not happening.
Right.
I figured, you know what, that Charles can become a YouTube star because, well, as you get a chance to see, it's pretty damn cool
Right.
what Charles does. So we should cut
Well,
there.
we're looking forward to seeing that, Brian.
Yeah, well, we'll take you over and we're going to turn the tank on and we're going to drop some of those Hikari sinking carnivore pellets down and you'll be able to watch them eat.
We'll be back in a moment.
Yeah.
Stay with us, folks. Action.
All right, folks. Well, now it's time to feed Charles. Now, I didn't give you a whole heck of a lot of details. I mean, you got the long and short of it in the video before, but this is the 55-gallon tank that I moved Charles in. He was in an octagon tank, and he is now in 55 gallons. So when I did this, my goal was that I wanted natural rocks in the tank because Charles had a castle and he had this blue rock. All the blue rock that was in his 29 gallon was in that tank and that castle. Now, Charles spent 22 years since I got him in 1997 living in this castle. So as he's grown, I've had to take this castle out and Dremel the holes bigger so he can go in and out of it. But he's comfortable being here, and I'm moving him to a new environment, and I didn't want to shock him in any way. Even though he's a wild catfish, you still don't want to, risk hurting fish. So what I did was I put these large rocks I got from my parents' creek
And the idea is that Charles is a digger. Catfish, by nature, will dig themselves holes in embankments of rivers. And they back their big old carcasses in there, and they wait for food. They don't usually come out and swim around like goldfish do, community fish do. They will just hang out and wait for a meal. So Charles spends his entire time in this castle. Well, as he was growing, in the 22 years that I have him, he's grown small amounts because I feed him just enough healthy food so that he is healthy, but he don't outgrow his tank, because the reason why fish die, ones that can live a long time in captivity, is because people pollute the tank. They don't change the filters correctly, they overfeed the fish craps up its own tank and it dies from its own poison. That's not how I roll with Charles. I fed him just enough over the course of 22 years, keep him healthy, but not let him grow too large, because as you know, catfish can grow up to 4 feet long in real life. So this is not a pet shop catfish, this is a wild catfish somebody donated by luck, because I went through all these pet stores all around where I live to try to find one of these, short of catching it out of a pond. I got a chance to buy one. I think I paid $3 for him. In 1997 dollars, he'd be worth, what, $15 now, but how often do you see that in a fish store? Well, so anyway, long story short, Charles, when he started outgrowing his castle, he would dig all the stones out and pile them up in big piles on each side of the tank. He wanted to live under the castle, not in the castle. So when I set this tank up for him, I put 2 large rocks right in the middle, and I emptied it all the way down to the bottom of the glass. And I took all of that, maybe 20 pounds of blue stone, and I piled it in between the 2 rocks. So when you first originally saw this is going over a year ago now that Charles has moved here. Charles has dug out all of the blue stones and put them where he wanted them, so now he can live under it and he can live in it, which you can see he's sticking his head out of one of the holes that I had to Dremel a whole bunch of times, because I think he still can get in and out, but I'm not quite sure at this point. So in the last year and a half, all Charles has done is dig rocks, and he's moved all these rocks, and you can see this is his painting he's painted for us. So what I'm going to do is that Harkari stuff I was showing you, this is the food that I'm going to be using, and it's very expensive. It's like $12, $13 for a bag of it, but the cat goes wild when she smells it, because it smells good enough you could probably eat it and not die, but it's all full of good quality proteins, and you know I'm feeding the catfish. Oh yes you do, right? Alright, so let me show you what this guy looks like. Now, as I said before in the other video, you can't put any kind of fish with Charles because he will eat them. So Charles has to, like I said in the video earlier, he has to live in solitary confinement. Now, depending how long this is going to take, Charles has to smell the food first. So once he gets a whiff of it, he'll come on out. You get a chance to look at him. And Julie Lou will be waiting, because every time I feed this catfish, Julie Lou loses her mind and wants to get the catfish. She wants to eat the food. And of course, the catfish is moving at all. Well, you can stop the video, Gail, if you want to. Dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Well, take a look at this. Look at Charles. I think has found his happy place now. He's actually removed a lot of rocks. And the castle is doing exactly what I predicted was falling backwards. But it's not falling in on him. But you can see, since last feeding, how busy this guy's been. Look at this. It's amazing how many rocks this fish has moved. Boy, he knows it's dinner time, I think. He's got them piled everywhere. Which makes me wonder now, how many more rocks is Charles gonna keep removing? I mean, is he happy right now? the way things are? I'm not sure. He seems pretty happy. Until he needs a little more space. But who knows? Well, let's just get this guy something to eat. I gotta hold the phone, open the bag, and drop the pellets in. Alright, here we go. Shouldn't take long for Charles to smell these. Look how big he's getting. He's starting to get pretty darn big, this guy. He smells that food. Oh boy. Well, if I want to come out the front now, I'll do what I do. I'm going to come out the back. I don't know, maybe I'll come out the front. Alright, you guys get the front. Look at that boulder mover. He's a boulder mover. Man, he just gets in there and gets it done. That. Man. Whew. That's quite a powerhouse. It's turning more and more into a shark every day. Guys, if you want a freaking cool fish, go find yourself a wild catfish. They're so worth it. So is that it, Charles? What's going on here, man? That's all? We got them all? Party's over at 4:27? Oh, jeez. At this rate, Charles, we're only going to be able to upload, we're going to have to do 2 videos at a time. He's like, no, I don't want to come out now. Look at that freaking gap. Man, has that fish freaking got a gap or what? I got a gap. I'm gonna gap you. I'm just gonna gap you and your friends. Yeah, you're gonna be gapped. We're back. He's cool. Look at him burrowing. Wow. Wow. That's impressive. Man, he's just like a bulldozer. Literally. Can you imagine this fish like 2 feet long, how powerful it is? I wouldn't want to tango with this thing in a river. Look at that. There he got it. Look at that. Score upside down on top of it, yo.
Just when you think it was going to get boring, I'm just going to come out and show you guys how it's done. Man, wow. I'll tell you what. Look at that. Amazing. He still has a hunch something got his nose tickled. Man. Now I understand why those rocks are moved. Why he was able to move rocks that big. Remember when his castle was over here? Man. That's pretty epic. Oh yeah, Charles. You are quite the cool catfish. Man, I can almost feel the resonance of it coming through the water, through the tank. Yeah, now I can go right in the way I wanted to go in all these years. This is all Charles wanted to do was just live under it. I think he's getting his wish now. I'm really looking forward to seeing if he digs any more rocks. Well, the only way you're going to find out is to hit that subscribe button. Alright. Well, it looks like a rat for Charles. Just pulled in, parked. Alright. See you guys later.
Little red light on says record.
Well, thanks for that, Brian.
You're very welcome, Gail.
That was really interesting and fun to watch. And I think we'll be seeing you again someday. We'll keep coming around, checking out your catfish ranch.
Yeah, come over anytime.
All
I'm
right.
gonna have to come over to your place and see them donkeys.
Yeah, come on over. I'll give you the tour.
I want to see you. I want to meet
All
everyone,
right.
and I got questions for you, and
Oh,
I want to ask
I got
you.
answers.
Oh,
I
fantastic.
have had them a long time. I'd say a long ass time, but you know, no pun intended.
Hey, that's fantastic. Like I said, this town is small, so we hear about everybody's business. We all know what everybody's doing.
Yep. You know, that guy with all the Toyotas in the driveway.
Yep.
Good night, folks. See you next time.
Hit the subscribe button. Yeah, like that. Get the we go pitchfork. No, pitchfork and
American Gothic.
pitchfork and shovel like old man, old lady thing.
Yeah,
That'd be
American
great.
Gothic.
That'd be great.
Yep.
That wasn't bad.
Yep.
That'll come together.
It will.